tier.
Yeah.
All right, we are live on LinkedIn. So I'm here for another episode of A Good Story, and I'm sitting here with a good person named Chereese Jervis Hill. But not only are you a good person, you are a good business owner.
I am. Thank you.
You're a good friend.
I am. Thank you.
You're a good planner.
I am.
You're
Thank
a good
you.
organizer.
I am. Thank you. I'm a good mom.
You're a good mom, a good wife.
A good wife. A good boss.
Ooh, you're a good boss.
Mm-hmm.
And but overall, you're a good person, and that's why you're here.
Thank you.
So I know you so well on a business perspective, and I think probably the way that I see this going is because, and if you ever listen to any of my podcasts, I talk about how I have ADD. So as we talk, I'm going to interrupt you and talk about something. It's going to throw you off. I don't know if you'll finish the story. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I can't help myself.
It's all right. I'm with you.
But we'll try to talk about business.
Okay.
And maybe sneak in some personal stuff.
Love it.
And I say that because even my business is my life, but it's not what makes me.
Mm-hmm.
And meaning by that is I started this company, with a purpose, but it's motivated by things that happened in my personal life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think anybody that starts a business, you don't just usually you're not 5 and you're like, I just want to be a business owner.
Yeah. No, that wasn't my journey.
Something happens. So
yeah.
What age did you decide that you wanted to be a business owner?
So I don't have, and I talk about this, I actually have a podcast called Coffee with Cher. It's an entrepreneur journey kind of podcast, which you'll be on soon. Mm-hmm. And I talk about this all the time. I don't have the typical, I sold lemonade outside and, that wasn't really my journey. I mean, I worked for corporate and I enjoyed my corporate days. I used to work for MetLife. I used to work for JP Morgan. I used to work for Philip Morris. Philip Morris is where I really started my event journey. And, didn't think about owning a business. And for me, it was 9/11. After September 11th, I was working for a conference planning company. And after 9/11, no one wanted to fly. We did conferences all over the world and no one wanted to fly, obviously. So I was laid off. That company wound up, going under. And I had just had my second daughter, Casey, and I was home and I knew at that time we did conferences. So I was very well connected with a lot of the different hotels and had a lot of relationships and people, Chereese, hey, I'm working on this. Hey, Chereese, you know anyone, once things started going. So it was kind of maybe I should start a business and maybe, and I did other things but that bug kept kind of buzzing, and that really is how Events to Remember was started.
I can't imagine you in a corporate setting. How did you end up in corporate?
I'm surprised that you say that.
Well, no, you're because I see you like me. And this is what I mean. I mean it actually as a compliment.
No, I get it. But I'm just surprised because people say that I, can be very, structured. And I feel like all of that is from my corporate journey.
But I feel like you can't have somebody telling you what to do.
It would be really hard now. It would be so hard. I mean, look, people tell me what to do. I have clients, right? People say, oh, you own a business and you don't have a boss. And I'm like, I don't have one boss. I have many bosses now, right? But it would be really hard. It would be really hard for me.
I mean, don't you like your freedom a little bit too?
I love it.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. I can't see you sitting in traffic on a commute, just in a cubicle. Because I guess that's what I think with corporate.
Yeah.
You have a long commute. You work a 9 to 5. You're in a cubicle. There's memos.
Yeah. Oh, God. Stop. Yeah, you're right.
You got to talk to HR.
Oh, my gosh. I'd be in so much trouble. You're right. Yeah. God knows. God is in control. So yeah.
How did you even get into corporate? Where are you from originally?
I'm New York. I grew up in the South Bronx. So I'm a Bronx girl,
So is my wife.
Yeah. So we're Bronx. I grew up actually Patterson Projects. I'm a project girl.
What can you tell me what that's like? What is being in the because people don't know this about me, but before Good For You Productions,
Yeah.
I was like trying to be a music video director, and I was in Brooklyn in Gowanus Projects, making videos for
I didn't know
rappers,
that.
getting in trouble with police and FBI.
Oh my goodness. You're such a rebel.
Well, I wasn't doing anything wrong. They were. I was just making a music video, but there was some sketchy stuff going on. But so like I got to witness the projects firsthand, and I had to be protected. Quite honestly, his name was Wild Urkel. He told everybody, don't touch him. But that was my experience with projects.
Yeah. So, that was all I knew, right? It's one of those things where people say, we were broke and we didn't know we were broke. And that was kind of like my situation. My mother always made sure that we had, thank God, like I didn't go hungry or anything. Like my mother always worked and made sure that we had. So it was just where we lived, and I had friends, and it was just our life, It's one of those things where you don't realize you're broke in that situation because there's so much more. So I was lucky, but I do have friends who had a different situation, I still have friends who grew up together in the project that I love, that are like, that are like my sisters,
But now you live in Westchester,
I
right?
know. Now I live in Westchester, and I love Westchester. But I still go back. I still have family there, and I still go back. I just, I'm a little more careful when I'm in my car and all that stuff, But it's home, really,
But so this is what I think about for you then. Is because you and I, the reason why I know you is we cross over on nonprofits, and the nonprofits that we work with, they're usually doing something impactful, meaningful, a lot of times that is overlooked, unseen.
Yeah.
So just shortcutting maybe some of your story here, is there any reason why you have a particular interest in helping nonprofits? Like, did you see a lot of things going wrong? And is this a way to say, hey, I know that people are more needy than even if they admit, and like I've seen it, so I want to help be a part of the solution?
Of course. I mean, it's, I just mentioned, there were friends who would come to my house to eat, right? These are real life issues. And the fact that, thank God I'm truly blessed. My family is truly blessed, but I know where I came from, right? I know the journey that other people have, and that life is not fair, right?
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I absolutely love about the work that we do at Events to Remember and PR to Remember is, like, our nonprofit clients. I feel like in a way we are helping to change the world with them. We're helping them raise funds, unrestricted funds that they need to continue to do the work that they do. So it definitely is a love and a passion of mine to help them be able to do this work and do it really, really well. So I do feel like, God kind of blessed me in that way to kind of, start this business and veer to that way. When I first started, we were doing all kind of events, and my friends used to tease me. They used to call, because I was doing bar mitzvahs. I was on like a bar mitzvah cycle. It was like once the kids finished Hebrew school, I was meeting with the moms. It was, and my friends would tease me. They're like, "You're the only Black bar mitzvah, event planner." Like, so I was the Black bar mitzvah planner. And I loved it.
Easy branding, by the way, right there.
Yes. And I loved it because it was creative. It was fun. The kids were so great. So I do have fond memories. But then from a business perspective, right, they have one or two kids, and then it's like a one-shot deal. You're done. Right. Same thing with weddings. We did weddings for a while, and then, you only get married once, or well, in some cases, but for the most part. So I kind of went back to my core of the corporate background that I had. and really started focusing more on those type of events, conferences and events of that nature, seminars. And that really is how I veered off to the nonprofit, looking for things that would be annual, that's more sustainable. And then just kind of fell in love with the work. I think of the clients that we have and the work that they're doing. I mean, today we actually had a meeting with Make-A-Wish Hudson Valley.
Oh, nice.
We're working on their gala for next year. And we had the most incredible brainstorming session about just talking about these wishes and how we're going to showcase them at this event. And it's just incredible, incredible work. So our team is just, and look, nonprofit events are hard. It's not like it's we make it look easy because we're good, but it is really hard, to make sure that all of the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed. So, but the work is incredible, and at the end of the night when these totals are in and they've raised all that money, it's like, our team feels really good that we were a piece of that,
The other reason why I can't see you in corporate, because when did you get that feel? Well, I guess you were doing events then, so maybe you got some feel good.
I was, but they weren't. Yeah, they were. We were doing more conferences, so it was more kind of cookie cutting, booking a hotel block. We need a conference room. We need this many. We need, set it theater style. We need a buffet, chicken for lunch. 50 p.m. Just very boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
So yeah, not worrying about a paddle raise or text to donate or all that kind of stuff.
Well, and it's good to feel the pressure, because that's what you definitely feeling the pressure in those moments, like day of an event leading up. And even if you're not feeling the pressure, your client is feeling the pressure, and they make you feel what they're feeling. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. So
you got to be like a therapist on some days too.
I feel like I'm a therapist on a lot of days. I feel like I'm a therapist. I also feel like I am a fixer. I'm a problem. If I had to narrow it down, I'm a problem solver. That is automatically the way my mind works. Is something happens, I don't sit in that moment. It's like, okay, how are we fixing it?
This makes sense now, and I've seen it before, because people, whenever they come up to you at an event, they're never telling you good news. It's always like, Chereese, this is happening. What do we do? What can we make this? This needs to be adjusted. So that makes, you're definitely a fixer. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, definitely. That's just the way that my mind kind of operates.
Do you feel like, speaking of pressure, do you feel like nonprofits are feeling more pressure now?
I think so. Yeah, I think so with everything that's happening in Washington and all of the cuts. I do. But I also am a big believer in God and people that are good people, right? And they are stepping up, and I feel like they will continue to step up to help our nonprofit partners kind of get through whatever this is that we're navigating. So
you've now mentioned God 3 times, so we got to talk about him.
Okay, let's talk.
Is that also part of your motivation? And why do you care so much about people? Because you're not just, if you just did events, like you said, you would have stayed in corporate and just did the cookie cutter, taking your paycheck, 401k, blah, blah, blah.
We do have 401k at events to remember, though. That was something that I built in for my team.
Don't you brag about that. Good for you. Doesn't have that.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
Just how do you, why do you get out of bed every day? It's that sort of question. What does God do for you? Why are you bringing him up so much?
Because I feel like he has me here for a reason. I feel like we're all here for a reason, right? I feel like we are all here to serve in some kind of way. That's just the way that I feel, the way that I was raised, So, yeah. What gets me out of bed? I love what I do. So I am blessed in that way. I have a family that I love so much, who loves me so much, so supportive. So I want to be able to contribute to, what their needs are and, plan for my future when I, close up shop, sell.
Don't close up shop.
Whatever that next chapter looks like. Yeah. So
I hope you're just passing on the battalion and overseeing it. And
I would love that. Well,
we'll pray for it.
I gotta talk to my daughters. They They've been around events their whole lives, so I don't know. My youngest is a school teacher, and she loves it. She's a kindergarten teacher.
And she likes it?
She loves it. She loves it.
You know, I have a son going into kindergarten next year, and if I had like 20 of them, I can't say I would love it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because one is tough.
Yeah. They're tough, but they're so cute. They're so cute. So last year was her first year, and for Christmas, she wanted to decorate her classroom. And of course, the event planner mom, I was like, I can come and I'll help you. So she's like, come in my lunchtime. I need you to come from this time to that time. And I'm like, well, I see the kids. And she's like, no, you can't. Like, we're this time to that time. So of course I went and moved like really, really slow as I'm decorating. And then the kids came back and they were so adorable. And she's like, you did that on purpose. I'm like, I did. I wanted to just see the kids. So, yeah.
What is that like, being a grandmom?
I'm not a grandma. Not yet. Not yet. No husbands, no children. So,
It's almost like, that's what made me think. I'm like, because we have a 21-year-old, and I think about maybe one day, like,
I hope
in
so.
the near future.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. But right now I'm just, her kindergarten students. So I'm a second Miss Hill. When I went to the classroom, they were like, two Miss Hills. That was adorable.
When it comes to, I was just thinking about this because you were talking about events, and after 9/11, I just didn't even realize that. I didn't think about that. I figured people wouldn't want to travel. I was a freshman in college. I was sitting in a dorm room at that time, and my parents actually flew out I was in Kentucky. They flew out there because that was September. They flew out in October, which I still think they were kind of crazy.
I'm sure they were nervous.
I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know if they realized. Maybe they were, but they came, which was very nice of them.
Ask your parents.
I gotta see if they remember, what that was
like.
I
bet they do. Ask them. I bet they do. They probably didn't say anything because they didn't want to freak you out.
They must have felt like they needed to, because I was like by myself in another state. They probably just came, and plus they got to get out of New York.
Yeah. So it was. That was something that I'll just from.
I just never thought that I never realized that events were so. That makes so much sense, of course, but duh.
And think about it, conferences, we planned conferences, and it wasn't just me. Like, we had a whole team. It was a whole company where all we did was big conferences, like, all over. So business people, they weren't paying for their staff to fly. First of all, the staff didn't want to get on planes.
Right.
Like, it took a while for people to fly again, So, yeah.
And then it came back. The event culture came back. Mm-hmm. And now, what does it look like now? Is it as strong as it is? Is events something that is still important for folks to have?
Absolutely. I think it's more so important right now with everything that's happening for, and I know, nonprofits sometimes can be nervous about spending money, right?
Right.
But this is a way for you to get those unrestricted funds. So I think, I think it's a mistake to cut your events. You got to make up that. I mean, obviously if you're losing millions of dollars in federal grants, like, events are not going to, $20 million loss. Like, they're not going to make that difference, but it'll help with something,
It's like the same mistake, and not saying that, well, I guess I am saying it's a mistake. A lot of times when a business struggles, they get rid of marketing.
Exactly.
And that's like the worst thing to do, because
worst.
How is anybody going to hear about you?
Yeah.
So it'd be the same idea with events, right?
It is. Plus, number one, the fundraising aspect, right? Number two, it's just engaging with your donors. It's engaging with the people that love the work that you're doing. It's updating them on the work that you're doing. So it's a really big mistake. But I have to say, our clients through it all are like, hey, put me on the calendar this date, this is what we're doing. When can we meet? So we're busy. Thank God, God,
Make a Wish Foundation. That, speaking of stories.
Oh my gosh, storytelling all day and all night.
We were talking before we started about that I do a lot of work with West Point, and those are a lot of profound stories, because it's really like, to join the military, you never know when you're being sent somewhere and that's your last day. I mean, that's like so very profound stories. And oftentimes I'll say, like, there's no story that's more profound than that, except maybe Make a Wish. That's pretty big. Like, so how do you all, I don't want you to give away anything, but like with that, how do you use storytelling? Like, can we talk about them? Is there anybody we can talk about? Like, hey, here's a goal. And not like I'm not trying to quantify what their specific goals are, but they obviously want to reach more people. Do they lean into their stories? You know, do they?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What happens there?
First of all, I think if you are a nonprofit, if you're a business, if you're not leaning into the stories, that's like a big, big mistake, right? It's a great way to just, it kind of breaks it down to a level where any and everybody can understand, right?
Yeah.
You see this beautiful, adorable child who is dealing with some kind of sickness, right? And it makes you think about your children. It makes you think about how strong this child is to be facing this, and his family, and how strong they have to be going back and forth to the hospital and all of that. And they have this one wish. And this organization is raising funds just for this one wish. You know, I mean, when I think of like our clients, like Carver Center is another client of ours. They just did a food drive where they gave away, I don't remember, I don't want to say the number because I don't want to, screw it up. But they gave away hundreds of thousands of dollars in food for people that need it. You know, it's like these organizations that they have a food pantry. Their pantry is like a shopping experience. So you come in, it's like you're going into the supermarket.
I love
and
that.
You pick what you want. So it's that shopping with dignity.
Yeah.
Right? So, but these are the clients that we serve. Access Psychology Foundation, APF, they're all about access to mental health, right? You think of everything that's happening in the world with young people, when they talk about like the stats of Black and brown children and the percentage of health care, of mental health access, like these numbers, the percentages are so staggering. So
You mean there's a gap?
A major
Yeah.
gap. So these are like organizations that we have the privilege of working with and serving.
There's really like a lot of great work that's being done.
Yeah.
And you can't know about it. So you're right about like contextualizing a story. And here's what I was also reading recently. Because a lot of nonprofits, they want to talk about, and they need to, because they want to talk about impact and quantify it. A lot of times it's because of a grant. They're trying to prove something to somebody so they can keep getting money, which sure, you need numbers and stats.
Yeah.
And then kind of what we do is more of the abstract, where it's, okay, the stats don't touch the soul. So let's bring like a real story and let's touch your heart a little bit. Mm-hmm. But what I learned scientifically, this is what we need to do all the time. Me and you all the time. Like what I'm about to say is, when you take a stat and combine it with an emotion, the likelihood of them remembering goes up by, and I'll make up the number, but I forget, it was significant. It was like 30%, but whatever that means, I don't know. Mm-hmm. So if like I was thinking about childcare, like if you say childcare, the childcare worker makes, and I'm closing my eyes because I'm referencing an old video of mine, average $14 an hour is their pay. Okay, that's like sad, I got it, but I'm not going to donate to the council because of that number. But then if I show the young woman who's trying to make something out of her life at $14 an hour, who's taking care of your kid, and it's like, oh man. So they'll remember the stat and the figure, and that's what we're trying to do. It's just trying to make people feel it and remember it, so that if they're able or willing to, they can help in whatever it is, the time, talent, treasure, right?
Yeah.
Is that
Yep.
I just thought that was really cool, that to having the emotional feeling behind, and maybe that's why. Sorry, I was just trying to think of, man. Sorry, this is my ADD. I told you this was going to happen.
But it is all it's all emotion.
I'm just
right?
trying to. Maybe I'm going to teach my kids this way now, from now on. Sorry, I'm thinking about my own life. I just had a moment where I'm like, if I want them to remember something, I should make it emotional too. No, it's a good idea. Sorry.
I mean, we all, emotion is everything, right? Just like people say, people buy what they want based on emotion. It's not about like, oh, I don't have it. You have people that are going in debt doing things because of emotion. How would I feel if I was, in that car or whatever?
Labubus. Do you know about this thing? Labubu. You know what a labubu is?
Are those little?
Those little things you hang off your book bag?
Yeah,
They
it makes
go-
me think of Naomi Osaka from the I love the U.S. Open. Everybody that knows me, that follows me on social, they know like every year I'm
Do you
there.
really?
Oh my gosh, that's like my husband and I. That's like our official date night every year. Soon as tickets open up, we get our tickets, and that is
Everything else in my mind stops. I want to know about why you and your husband are fanatics about U.S. Open.
I don't.
How did this happen?
I don't.
Who did you
even-
watch? It was a player.
Obviously, so the Venus Serena, right? I think this is one
You
of
had
those
no
things.
interest in tennis before Serena, right?
None.
Yeah.
But this ties back to the representation. That's why it's important, right? I say that all the time. It is. The representation is important. My ADD, I'm going back to events. I like to tell this story too. When I was in high school, I had a part-time, you know how they have like the co-op program in school?
Mm-hmm.
So my co-op program was Booz Allen in Hamilton. It's a huge consulting firm, 101 Park Avenue in the city. And when I went, they had their holiday party, and it was at the Guggenheim Museum. And again, South Bronx girl, going to the corporate holiday party, and then I walk in and I'm like, holy crap, like we're in a museum. They're having a party in a museum. And now we plan events like that, and it's just hindsight. It's see it, believe it, So anyway, that was one of my ADD moments where I just kind of drifted off. But
I want you to be much more like, this is why I wanted to talk to you, because you probably do. I just don't know about it. But like, you're such an inspiration.
oh, thank you.
I mean, there had to be people trying to, isn't it in all the songs? Like they try to pull you, what does 50 Cent say on the song? I moved out the hood. Now you're trying to pull me back. Right. Like, right? Didn't that happen to you? Weren't people like, Chereese, you selling out, going to Westchester? You had to get a little bit of, you don't want to say it. It's okay. Good for you.
Yeah. I mean, look, we do what we do. I wanted a better life for my daughter, right? My husband, he grew up in the projects too. So both of us, we knew we had strong parents, and we're thankful for that, right? So I feel like that is one of those things that'll make a big difference in the direction that you go. I remember my mother, like certain kids I couldn't play with, and as an adult, and I see the journey that they've taken, I'm like, wow, she was right.
So I was never allowed to go to the pool hall when I was a teenager. And part of that is my great-grandfather was from Italy, and he was a peasant on a farm. Then he moved with his son, my grandfather, to Harlem. And then my grandfather did some things there, and then moved up to Yonkers, started a gentleman's club with a card room, which is why I'm getting to why I can't go to a pool hall. But then he moved his family, when my dad was ready, he moved up to Mayapack. So you know what I mean? Like it's part of the process of what we do. Like we want to get away from trouble. We live where we need to, and then try to make it, or hopefully somebody makes it out.
Exactly.
And get out and move up.
Yeah. And that's it. You want better. He wanted better for his children.
My grandfather did not want any of us to live the street life, honestly, because he lived it and he saw it was just, it was going to end sooner than you wanted it to.
Yeah.
And he didn't want that for anybody else. So my father was the first person to go to college out of everybody. So that's nice, I guess, it worked. So, proud parent, I'm sure my grandfather is.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
So did you tell me why you care so much? Why do you care so much, though?
Because any of those children or causes, that could be me or someone in my family. I think we all should care. Right? I think any of these, what you see other people going through, that could be your journey. So I think it's important for us to help where we can, That could be any of us. A sick child, Those are cards any of us could have been dealt. So.
All right. So you do a lot of events. And then you also do this other thing, PR.
We do.
So let's talk about that.
All right, let's talk about it.
What is, because events to remember, it's self-explanatory,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Events, and you want to remember them.
Yes.
So you got to get Chereese for those events. But now there's PR to remember.
Yes, there's
so
PR.
What do you mean by that?
So, well, actually, a sneak peek, we're actually going to be rebranding. Just because everybody knows us for events and we do a great job with PR. And, you know, I'm guilty of not talking. Like, I'm one head down, do the work, you know, and not really talking about it. So I'm glad that you're kind of like challenging me to do this. And that's a big piece of our rebrand. Just because, you know, I was talking to the person who we're working with, and she's like, oh my gosh, you guys do that? You did this? You got clients in cranes, you got clients, you know, you've done this, they've gotten all these awards. Like, why don't you talk about it? So we're trying to be better about it, you know? But yeah, so we help our clients tell their story through mission-driven events, which is obviously events to remember, and through telling their story through a PR campaign. So what is that? Is that exposure, booking them on podcasts, you know, trying to get a story written about them, coming up with a strategy just kind of based on their overarching goals? Is it creating fun reels about, you know, some of the stuff their team is doing or showcasing their staff? Or is it something more structured, kind of just based on their business? So really helping them tell their story, mission-driven events or via a campaign. But these campaigns are all kind of customized and curated just based on their overarching goals. So
I'm excited for you with this.
Thank you. I love the PR because you're really kind of telling their story in a different way, you know? So it's exciting stuff.
Just tackling stories from every angle. You know, because, you know, what I see now is this sort of like, you know, it's scary time. I think it's all going to work out. But for a lot of our clients, you know, nonprofits, they, you know, for good reason, they get a little nervous.
It's scary for all of us, really.
Right.
Uncertainty, really all of us. Even on the corporate side, you see a lot of companies just kind of like freezing, cutting back, not doing it. So it's not just the nonprofits, right?
And like weird stuff is happening. Like one of like the way the dollars are changing. So like a client may say to me, "Hey, I just got my state funding cut by this much, but then I got but my county funding got cut, but then the state gave me this grant." So it's like Monday, it's like, oh no, and then Tuesday, it's like, okay, things are not okay. So they're literally day by day being affected.
Yeah.
But it's like it's in Westchester, Chereese. This way, in Westchester alone, there's like thousands of nonprofits. Mm-hmm. There's like 55,000 employees of nonprofits.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like other counties in the nation like this, but I think we have a certain responsibility. It's why me and you don't talk about ourselves enough, because we're always talking about other people.
Yeah.
This is kind of why I want to do this, because this is important for anybody. Because we're never going to take the time to do it.
No.
It's too much. I've been trying to produce a video, because back to your point, like I never talk about me, is I've been making videos for people, the about me video, stories about people for forever. Mm-hmm. Try to find one about me.
I know.
So I started this January trying to produce it.
And we're November. We're November.
And I still haven't made it yet.
I know. I say this all the time. The shoemaker's kids never have shoes. The shoemaker's kids never have shoes. I mean, I try, you know, I'll try to post on social, or, you know, I have my podcast. So that's kind of a way a little, but even then I'm still talking about other people.
Yeah.
Not really talking about so much the work that we do. So we'll have to try to do a little better.
I watched some of your, I watched a few of the episodes. You had, who did you just have on? I think he was Dominican. He was drinking Bustelo.
Oh,
I'm trying to think what he did for
Delgado,
work.
New York. He was a designer.
So that
Wasn't he fun?
That was fun and cool.
Yeah.
I got to tell him though, Bustelo is Colombian-made coffee. So he's like, I got to stick to my Dominican roots, and he was drinking Colombian coffee. It's okay.
Oh.
I drink Bustelo too. That's why I was like, that's my guy right there. And then I'm terrible with names. But it's so funny. So like, to prove my own point, I remember the stories. I don't remember the name.
Yeah.
The woman you had on there who it sounded like she was in a bad relationship. She didn't know. She wrote, it must have been like a self-help book or something.
Oh, yes.
She was fascinating.
Yeah. That was one where sometimes I go back and I look at my facial expressions and look, my team is very instrumental in kind of like booking the podcast. So I get a ton of emails and I'll say, oh, this sounds good. I'll send it over. And, they'll
Nobody has
them.
a story like her.
I was a little like, I was kind of taken back. It was like fascinating. And I can't remember her name either, but her story was.
But she had an issue definitely with, I don't know if it was drugs and alcohol or just one or the other. And then she ran into a guy who she ended up marrying.
Yep. And then
he was like into something crazy and the FBI was following him.
Yep. Crazy, right?
And she had no idea. And I think she went to jail for some of the stuff that he did wrong.
What he did, yep. It was like a Lifetime movie.
But you would never think, like hearing her now, you wouldn't even think there's no way somebody that brilliant could get into a bad way like that.
Yeah.
Like what an awesome story.
Yeah, that was
because she turned her life around. I'm so glad that you talked to her. She was awesome.
That was a great one. So guys, all of our episodes are on YouTube, Coffee with Cher podcast.
And you do Spotify too, right?
I do, yeah. Spotify, Apple Music, all that stuff. So
how you want to wrap this up? I love that we talked about so many things. I feel so good. I feel like I know you on a much deeper, like I feel like I actually know you. I just don't know the business, Chereese. I feel like I know
the personal
side, which is so important for what you do.
I mean, it's, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I'm a friend.
Your husband's an entrepreneur too, right?
My husband, he actually works and he works with ETR as well. So he's an operating engineer in the city. And then on his days off, or if we have like a really big event, he'll take off.
See, I think that's another thing people don't realize about you, because you said you dropped in team and stuff. So a lot of folks that I see who like start a business, and especially in Westchester, they try to make it seem like they have this team, and they don't. You have a team.
I do. I have a great team.
Like you're definitely the face, and you're the one who's running around, and you're the person that most people are going to talk to. But this is not just like, Chereese running around out of her car doing this. Like you got a full, how long you been in business?
I've been in business, April made 21 years. I'm legal, baby. Yeah, April made 21 years. So it's so hence the rebrand, and I feel like, it took me 21 years to kind of find myself. So people that are new,
is fun.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
What are you looking forward? This I will end. What are you looking forward to in 2026?
I'm looking forward to some clarity, right? I feel like some clarity in my brand. I'm looking forward to, we have some new staffing things that are going to be happening. So I'm kind of excited about that. I'm excited about making sure that our clients, that their events are kicking ass,
You don't have to hold back here.
We're on LinkedIn, so I'm trying to be,
those professionals curse too. Don't let them lie to you.
So
even the suits.
Yeah. So I'm excited about just, some of the PR campaigns that we're working on, really showcasing our clients. So I'm excited about just the possibilities. I'm ready.
Well, I'm excited for you, and I'm going to see it firsthand because I'm going to be with you.
Yes,
sure.
and I need to get a video. So shoemakers' kids don't have shoes. We both need to kind of like work on that stuff.
It's going to happen right after Hit ends. We're going to talk about it.
All right.
That was a good story with Chereese Jervis Hill. Events to remember, PR to remember, and thank you so much for sharing time and space with me. I appreciate it.
Much gratitude. Thank you.
You're the best.
Aw.